Alright, so here we're going to pick it up with path 3. Path 3, you go the same right side as path 2, except we're going to go into this far right room instead of down. Once we get to the back of this room, we can leash those mobs that we just ran through, since it's not really, there's no point fighting them, since it's just 4 normal Ascalon mobs. So they'll leash, and we'll start this speech with the NPC for the next event. This event, it's probably my least favorite event of all the AC events in this dungeon. What's going to happen is this NPC is going to set up 2 spirit collectors on both sides. We are going to have to guard them as burrows spawn around this room. If you kill the burrows fast enough, then the gravelings won't even have time to spawn. So if you have good DPS, this event's basically really boring and it takes like 3-4 minutes. So the reason I don't like it is just there's really no challenge and no point, and it takes too long. I personally think. I think they could shorten the time a little bit. So as you saw, we killed that burrow really fast. Occasionally one graveling will spawn out of it. You can just kill it real quick. If you don't have a bunch of melee DPS like we do, you can also bring an elementalist in and use its ice bow. The ice bow AoE, like the icicles or whatever, the blizzard that drops from the sky, it just destroys these things as well. If you're like lower level, or bring classes in like Necro, which aren't good at killing objects. The other thing to note is the burrows always spawn in the same exact spot. So once you do this enough, you'll kind of learn where they go to, so you can get the jump on them to start DPSing earlier, since you'll be near them already. As you can see, it's only at 25%. Ready killed, what, that was the 5th one, I think. So it does get a bit boring. I think this path takes the longest of the 3, just by like a minute or 2, because of this event, which takes a bit longer. So as you can see, I'm still getting misses though. Sometimes it happens when you stand on the burrows. So it's not fully fixed, and I kind of don't like the patch that they put in to try and fix these, because before you could just move back and forth and always hit it anyway, and this patch screwed up a lot of other objects outside of the burrows, outside of this dungeon, that are harder to hit now. Even if you're constantly moving, you'll get misses. You have to like stand in specific spots, kind of like those gargoyle heads. So overall, that patch was worse. It hurt more than it helped, I personally think. So we are almost done. It's going to be this burrow, and then there's going to be 2 more, I believe. It's going to be one up here. There should just be one last one. So as you can see, we don't really see very many gravelings. If you are in a group that does less DPS and you start getting ads spawning everywhere and you can't keep up with the burrow spawns, the thing you basically want to focus on is not letting the essence collectors die. You want to try and protect them. If nothing's hitting them, they'll slowly regen health if they did take damage. One way that I've heard, I've actually not personally done it because I've never had trouble with this, but you can try and kite around mobs some. Even if one dies, as long as you leave the other one up, you can still complete the event. So basically, no matter what, you just want to keep these alive or you're going to fail the essence collectors. Alright, so finally that's the end of this event. We're going to get a chest here, a waypoint, and then you can just run up to the next part. You get turned into these ghosts as well. Through this area, there's just some spider hatchlings, kind of like the ones that we fought at the Spider Queen boss, except these ones, a lot of them are silver mobs, not just normal mobs that die quickly. So there's really no point actually fighting them. We're just going to run through. They don't do much damage. And run up into this next room. So in this next room, it's another burrow event. This time, it's not time though. Just 4 burrows are going to spawn in this big room once you get close enough to this NPC. You just want to focus on the burrows and ignore the mobs. So this first burrow doesn't really have time to spawn anything. Once we get to the second one up here, it's going to have a bunch of mobs by it. Just use stability or dodge in, have sunbreakers, etc. like normal. Kill the burrow, and then as you start running to the next one, all these mobs will leash. Even if you take damage, you'll get out of combat, so you'll have time to regen your health. As you can see, we're out of combat now. So for this last section, we need to clear these 2 burrows on this side. What you want to do is, even if someone goes down, just focus on killing the burrows. Once you kill the last burrow, everything will despawn. So then if someone does go down or die like this warrior, you can just run back and res them. Actually, a waypoint will spawn also. So they can always waypoint there as well. So there you go. Kill all 4 and you complete that event. That one's really quick. And then as you can see, there's a waypoint down here that you can go over to. Just gotta wait for the speech, and then this brick wall is gonna open. This is the same spot almost as Path 1, except we don't have to go through the flame traps that are to the south of the minimap. So it's a bit shorter run. We're gonna appear right here where the tunnels are. And the same thing applies as Path 1, just run over to the little safe spot in the corner of the boss room. It'll leash everything on the way. There's actually a little secret tunnel here also. It's actually it's supposed to be the exit of Unfinished Jump Puzzle, but you can go check that out if you want. Alright, so we're just going to clear this one breeder and then go pull the boss. The boss is similar to Path 1 as well. The main difference is instead of spawning mobs with its non-damage scream, it's going to drop boulders from the ceiling. It's going to start off with its scream. This boss's scream, it has a bigger range than than the first boss. The area, the length is about the same, but the area, it's like 180 instead of 90 degrees. So you pretty much have to be behind it not to get hit. Besides that, it's pretty much the same thing. you'll see it's doing its non-damage scream, which is creating the red circles which drop boulders. It's going to knock you down if you don't have stability for quite a long time. It's like 4 seconds, 5 seconds. So have a stun breaker to get out of that if you do get hit. It does decent damage as well. There you see I got hit and I'm down for a while if I didn't have a stun breaker like that. Shortly after that it'll do a couple melee attacks and then do its scream. Just use your dodge to get behind it. But overall he dies fast and he's not too difficult. And that is it. Thanks for watching Path 3.